Welcome to Bealtaine Cottage here in the west of Ireland, and as you can see we're getting ready for Samhain, which will be next month, but there's a lovely long run up to it where we can really enjoy the autumn in all its splendour. Well, one of the lovely things about having my new stove is the fact that the oven is just hot all the time and it's sitting there waiting for me to engage with it. So yesterday I set up my little workstation here. Let me just draw back a wee bit. There we go. So I set up my little workstation here, and I've got all my baking stuff in this little cupboard, and I made some homemade bread. Now this particular recipe is in the Bealtaine Cottage Guide to the Deep Midwinter. I've had great feedback from so many people about this recipe because it's so easy. You don't handle the dough at all. How easy is that? Anyway, so I made the bread and I added some more ingredients to it, which I encourage people to do. So I added pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds and milled chia. And as you can see, the round loaf is almost decimated. I did have some visitors yesterday. And I made some homemade hummus as well. I cooked up chickpeas, organic chickpeas. And the lovely thing about making your own bread and your own hummus is that there are no additives. It's good, pure food. It's energizing food. It's food that your body really needs to have. And the outcome of this was this morning I woke up and I got up, and normally I'm a bit kind of foggy in the morning. You know how it goes. This morning, clear as a bell. So this is basically all I had yesterday, which is this bread and homemade hummus. And yeah, fantastic. So look out for lots more baked goodies coming this way. Anyway, so I'm just sat here having my cup of tea, and I was thinking about all the newcomers to the channel who perhaps have never heard of a Stanley stove or don't quite know what its function or its multifunction is. So I'm just going to go through that now. First of all, I've got the front of the Stanley open, and if you remember, those of you who have been with me for some years, the old Stanley Erigal, which I had, the front door had seized up on it, so I could no longer feed it from the front or even see the fire. And it caused a lot of smoke in the kitchen every time I opened the top to feed it. So this is a Stanley 9, and it is completely reconditioned, so it's very much pre-loved. I'm not sure of the actual age of it, but the way that they recondition these stoves now, it is like a brand new stove. It has something like, now the old Stanleys have something like 1/4 ton of cast iron in them. So obviously the older the better, because they're just, you know, made with better quality everything. This, first of all, boils the kettle for me. It's got a beautiful little stove top on it, cast iron. So the kettle boils very quickly, and in fact I'm enjoying a cup of tea from the kettle that was boiled just previously. It heats all the hot water. There's the two pipes going into what is the hot tank cupboard. It's not really an airing cupboard, I don't have the space, but it's a hot tank cupboard behind this little cupboard here. It also heats the radiators. So the entire cottage is heated from this one stove. It burns solid fuel. So that means wood. I mean, primarily it's wood, because I have a huge amount of timber now coming out of my woodland. As you can see, it's all around the cottage. And I have 3 acres of woodland which I planted myself. It's got a huge oven on it, and again all reconditioned. So that will cook a family meal, you know, a family meal for 6 or 8 even, you know, but hold, now I don't eat meat, but at say Christmas, it would hold a huge turkey, for example. You can also cook on the top of it. So obviously if you can boil a kettle, you can also, you know, cook, you know, boiled potatoes, vegetables, stews, etc. I think that's everything. Oh, also, this Stanley stove, of course, is connected into an old stone chimney. And that chimney, the wall of it heats up. So there's a lot of passive heat being reflected out into the cottage at night. What else can I say really about this Stanley? It's just the heart of the home. That's what it is. The heart of the home. You may be interested to know that I actually blend my own tea. So what I have is these little tea bags. Now I've got another box of them there, but I do prefer these ones. Can't get them at the moment, but I'll keep trying. And I blend my own tea. Now at the moment I've got some matcha sencha tea. And I've also got this, it's actually quite an old box of tea. I've just opened it. But this was gorgeous, absolutely lovely. And then I have Irish breakfast tea in here. That's loose tea, of course, it's all loose tea. And then, just to let you see what I keep in my store cupboard, I keep a really big selection of teas here. Lots of herbal teas and coffees. I'm cutting back on the coffee actually, but I do like my teas. So I've got both tea bags and loose leaf, and then some really unusual ones. This one here is absolutely gorgeous, mixed with traditional tea, you know, like afternoon tea or English breakfast or Assam. Yeah. You can probably hear the kettle beginning to sing again on the stove. I'm almost finished my tea, but I'm so reluctant to go outside. This is the only thing about having a cosy home. the cozier it is, the more you just want to sort of embed yourself into it. But it is a beautiful day, and I'm beginning to clear this area here in front of the hedge, just to make turning the car easier for visitors. I'll have to close that wee door and go outside shortly. So the electricians are here and they're working on the cottage, so I've come outside to do some major cutting back along here. It's got very overgrown, especially with the bamboo around the tree. And this is the great big heap that I've cut so far. The larch tree up there, that was cut, a couple of years back, because it was very, very close to the cottage and it had got massive. So unfortunately that one had to go, but the rest are fine. And I've been pruning the field maple here, which is a beautiful tree. Just taking a few bits off it, not much. So I'm going to be working now along the side of the cottage on the gable end, which is down that way. Yeah. I'm sure you noticed just how bright this is. So I've had all these new spotlights fitted. They're directional. I've had the loft rewired. And guess how many watts each of these beautiful soft lights contain? 5 watts only. Now previously the spotlights, the lowest I think I could get was 35 watts per spotlight. And so I've got 6 lights in the ceiling, and altogether it's only 30 watts. As opposed to 6 lights multiplied by 35 watts. Yeah, do the maths. I'm saving a fortune. Oh, it was so fantastic having the electricians here this morning. So Ronan came with 2 other electricians. There was 3 in total, and they worked like Billy-O. They really worked and got it all done. And I'm over the moon, as they say. As a footballer would say, scoring a goal, I'm over the moon. So I'll just put the lights on here in the kitchen and you can see. Now I'll only put the spotlights on. Look at that. Isn't that fantastic? I mean, it's going to be so lovely here during the winter to have all this light, knowing that I'm not, burning up masses of electricity. So technology is wonderful. Now also, I'll show you this actually at night when it's lit up, but I have 3 floodlights. Now the floodlights, I think, I'll have to check with my daughter-in-law who was here with me at the time, and she photographed the little boxes that they came in, I think it's only 50 watts for what would have been a 500 watt floodlight. Now, one of the little bonus features, I call it a bonus feature because I wasn't expecting this to be fixed, but here in the porch I had these little double lamps put in at the beginning. They haven't worked for about 15 years. I've had no light in the porch other than the little table lamp there. You got them working. So I went out and I got some new bulbs. Let me just turn the light on. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? There shall be light. Yeah. So these, I'll just show you the little box. These have less than 5 watts each, and they give off a 40 watt light. Isn't that amazing? I'll do a little video later on with the floodlights on outside. I'm so excited. I'm like a child at Christmas. So this is the 2nd month of Lunasa in the Celtic calendar. And Lunasa, of course, is the Celtic autumn, and it goes on for 3 months. It begins in August, goes through to September, and ending in October with the beautiful celebration of Samhain. As you can see, the woodland is beginning that wonderful transition. The sap has stopped rising. There are flower heads which have turned to seed heads. And leaves are beginning to change colour, just quite gently at the moment, before they drop. And of course, the days are getting shorter and the nights longer. It's a beautiful time. It is a time of wonderful transition. It's also a time when the veil gets thinner and thinner as the nights grow longer. So it's a magical time. Many people feel a little bereft as they transition through autumn and they can see winter in front of them. But each season has its own unique beauty, unique scents that rise from the earth, unique light. And of course, for the ancient inhabitants of Ireland, it was always about the light. So the days are measured in the light, the seasons are measured in the light. And we begin to see mushrooms and fungi and toadstools coming up from the earth. And the earth is really saying, I'm now dealing with all the wonderful gifts that are dropped upon me. And that transition through decay, rejuvenation, and back into the light and into life with the advent of Imbach, which follows Samhain. So it's a time to really enjoy this incredible season and to go out and appreciate Mother Earth and this incredible cycle of life that she keeps giving us. Good morning from my kitchen and my pride and joy at the moment, which is my reconditioned, aka new, but very much pre-loved, Stanley stove. And as you can see, in comparison to the old stove that I had here, where the front door was seized up in it, I can now open the front door and enjoy the fire. So I'm having a cup of tea from the kettle that was boiled on the stove. I've made a pot of tea there, you can see. And it's a beautiful day outside. This lovely Indian summer is continuing. Yeah. So have a lovely day, everyone, and blessings to you all.